Okay, I'm reading this book. It's called Can't Stop, Won't Stop. It can kind of be seen by Jeff Chang. And he's talking about insurance fraud that's going on in this one section. It's only page 13 and 14 where the people will hire henchmen or gang members to burn down buildings for the insurance money. And the insurance companies will benefit from that too. And this is going on in New York, in Brooklyn, or the Bronx. I mean, and it really sounds similar to what could have happened with 9/11. How much was the insurance payout for that? So here's a passage I found really interesting. Maybe I'll summarize. Okay, so they hired some gang people when the buildings got gutted out. Okay. Like the white flight from the area and the black people moving in, but then the conditions getting so bad that the black people and the Cubans didn't really live around some of these buildings. When the buildings really got emptied out, then the people who owned those buildings, which they call them slumlords, would hire thugs or gang members to burn down the buildings. And then, now this I want to quote. Okay, they'll collect $150,000 in insurance, just from arson. All right, insurance companies profited from the arrangement by selling more policies. You think about it, like there have been a lot of intentional fires. I mean, I've heard about them and from plenty of places. Like a few years ago in Eau Claire, some guy who owned a bar, he burnt down the building for the insurance money, and then it got later turned into a boys and girls club. But people do it. It's a payout. It really is. It's like towards the end of the life of that particular building, when it's like it's pretty much in such bad shape that there's really nothing else you can do with it. Going for that grand finale of burning it down and trying to collect the insurance money is a solution that makes sense to many people, especially the desperate type. Now this is an interesting quote. A fireman said, okay, every fire in a vacant building had to be arson. No one lives there, and yet when we pull up, the fire's out 30 windows. He continues. People move out. The landlord starts to cut back on his maintenance. When he stops making the profits, more and more apartments become vacant, and before you know it, you have a block with no one living there. Okay, that's all from the firemen. So, firemen suspect arson because these are empty buildings that went up in flames in New York. I mean, how else would it happen? When the buildings get emptied and nobody lives there, a lot of times the drug addicts will go in there and steal the copper wire. So I mean, they're tearing up the walls to get to the copper wire and the piping, maybe copper piping, and everything left that's fixed to the house that has some value. So they're really gutted out homes, yet somehow they turn into huge balls of fire. And that's been a big controversy with the 9/11 World Trade Towers, where people said, wow, you know, there was some major explosions that just didn't seem possible that could have happened from the planes. And, I mean, based on the history of New York, and particularly from this book, what's going on with the Bronx, there's a lot of suspicious activity. Like, there's professionals. Well, we're talking thugs that are doing it in the Bronx. But, I mean, there could be some real professionals that are a little more keen and practiced in their ways to pull off blowing up the World Trade Towers. I mean, there's been a history of people trying to blow up the World Trade Towers before the planes hit, you know, through the 80s and 90s. So it's really suspicious to me. But yeah, just starting to read this Can't Stop, Won't Stop right now, and they really got into some good. Jeff Chang's a pretty good writer, I'll say. He's gotten into some good stuff.